Hello, everybody. Tonight we start here in the Houston Heights where a wild police chase came to an end. Two people in a truck. The truck now behind me. Take a look at some of this video. These are robbery suspects police were chasing. This just one of the freeways they were on tonight, the North Loop. This went from the northwest side to the northeast side before coming here. And police tonight say one of the men in that truck pulled out a gun and started shooting at them during that chase. This video, one of those guys arrested. He was taken into custody by police after a short foot chase here in Sunset Heights. Tonight, this was the end of this scene. This chase, it involved a police car wreck. Thankfully, those two police officers are okay. Another officer hurt his finger while jumping over a fence to try and catch one of these guys. They are accused of robbing 3 people in Northwest Houston tonight at gunpoint. Police, they have yet to say what these guys will be charged with, but the charges certainly escalated after this wild chase.